Hello, I'm Tessa Padden. I'm 62 and I'm here in the Northeast, where I've lived for the last 26 years. I've achieved quite a lot in my life. I've taught British Sign Language. I've taught deaf teachers how to teach BSL. I've done television work. I may have won some awards, but really my best achievement has to be my family and my children. They're the most important things to me. This is my life story. I've come over here and I'm really looking forward to meeting family and friends that I haven't seen for such a long time. Well, they've changed. They'll be sharing memories from my life story and I'm looking forward to seeing them because BSL isn't actually my first language. It's actually ISL, Irish Sign Language. I'm here in Dublin, Ireland. My mother and father came from different parts of Ireland. My father had 2 sisters and 8 brothers, the first 2 of which were deaf. My mother had 1 brother and 4 sisters, and one of them was deaf. I'm excited because I'm on my way to see my cousin, Jimmy Padden. And a friend of mine, Stephen Bates, who's actually my daughter's godfather. We'll be catching up about times gone by and what life was like around here. Hello. Lovely to see you.
Hello. It's so long since I saw you.
It's quite moving. This was my father's school. My father had 8 brothers and 2 sisters. 2 of his older brothers were deaf and attended the same school. Oh my.
Do you remember this used to be a great big hall? Now it's been converted into a museum.
So my father and my 2 uncles, this is where their classes would have been? Open plan classes, right here.
Yeah, the play hall was downstairs.
Ah. Oh my. I've seen it before, but I can't find it. Maybe it's in a different book. Remember when I was in the girls' school and you came over? Do you remember?
Yes, Kevin O'Brien and I, we came and took you to see Santa Claus. And the nun told us that we weren't to use the sign language to you. And that we were to lip read. You could learn to lip read.
Lip read? You? Impossible. An Irishman with hardly any lip pattern. That's really impossible.
Yeah, yeah. So we brought you into town and got to see Santa Claus around the Christmas time. And it got very difficult to stand in front of you to lip read. So we used the signs, and we told you not to tell the nun that we used the signs. So.
You were naughty. You came to school here too, didn't you?
Yes, I left in 1973.
And the girls' school was over there, about half a kilometre, that way.
Yeah, they were separate, boys and girls.
That's right, separate.
But I remember the first time I met you at the Deaf Club in Rathmines.
That's right.
I'd have been about 16 or 17.
Yeah, about that. I was still a schoolgirl, I remember.
Yeah, we didn't grow up in school together.
We're the same age, but we were kept separate. Maybe I can have another look for my father and my two uncles, see if I can find them. Let's have a quick look. There he is. That's him. Beautiful. He loved football, that's right. Coming over here and seeing my cousin and Stephen, them helping me to look for photographs of my mother and father. My cousin thought he'd spotted him, but I wasn't so sure. But later I found one more close-up and it was definitely my father. I never thought I'd get so emotional looking at a photograph, but I really am pleased that I came here. When I was 5, my mother and father wanted a good Roman Catholic education for me, but they couldn't find anywhere. Then they thought of Dublin, so they sent me here, and I was here till I was 8. I'm really looking forward to meeting 2 people who were my classmates for the 3 years I was here. The first one's Catherine Stewart, the other's Susan O'Reilly. We'll have some happy memories to recall, but I'm sure there'll be others that aren't so happy. Hello, how are you?
Hello, long time no see.
So nice to see you again.
Your mother and father knew I couldn't go home.
Your mother and father couldn't take you home some weekends, so you would come stay with my deaf family. You enjoyed being able to communicate and sign with everyone because when we came to school, we weren't allowed to sign. We had to be oral. We'd get our hands smacked and sometimes we'd be punished and we'd be upset.
Do you remember being punished? I got it less, maybe because I was English.
Yeah, if they caught me signing, they used to send me up to the deaf and dumb unit. That's why I became quiet.
I remember when I was caught signing to you, I was called out and I didn't know what was going on. I was taken up to the deaf and dumb classroom and all the girls were staring at me. When I sat down, I started signing with them, no difference. I just signed with them. And then I left again. Looking back, I wonder how they must have felt with people being brought to them as a punishment. They must have sensed it. There's something wrong with us. How must they have felt?
Yeah, they wanted to isolate you, keep you away from us in another room. It was like sign language had to be kept away from oralism. Like signing would be a bad example for the oral children.
They didn't want us to teach the oral children to sign. If we were caught, we had to keep our hands behind our back.
Yes, they'd be watching us.
They knew we both had deaf parents, same as Susan had a deaf brother, so they kept their eye on us.
Yes, they watched us like hawks. had a wonderful time over in Ireland. It's where my family and I are from, so I've got that Irishness inside me. But London is also very important to me. So I was over in Ireland until I was 8, and I came back here to London. My native language was Irish Sign Language, ISL, so when I came back over here, I had to adjust again and get back into BSL. I'm going to my old school, Akmar Road. I'll be meeting up with 2 people I grew up with during my school years, Norma Armstrong and June Smith. They'll be telling me what they remember about my life back then and how that shaped me into who I am today.
There she is. Hello. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Lovely to see you. Will we go over to the school and we can chat more over there?
Yes, terrific.
Jump in. Do you remember the first time you saw me on the bus?
Oh yes, I remember. The school bus went round picking up children. There was a big woman and the driver. The woman was trying to say something, but I couldn't understand what she was saying, so I just kept nodding. We always used to take the same route, but on this day it was different. We turned left, not far from my home, so I wondered what was going on. Then I saw your mother carrying you. You were so pretty with your curly hair. You were signing to your mum with one hand and she was doing the same, and I wondered, what is that? Then the woman pointed towards you and you got put on my knee. You were so smiley and looked so happy with your curly hair. You started signing with one hand. I'd never seen this before and I didn't have a clue. It was like you were from a different world. So when I got home, I asked my parents what it was. They explained it was Irish. This is the sign now, but back then it was Irish. I said, you mean it's different? And from then on, I was fixated on you. I'd always sit you next to me.
I wasn't there yet.
For 1 year, yeah, not yet. You were 6 months later.
Yes, Tessa came in February and I was in August.
I remember being happy at school and it was lovely, but the education wasn't up to much.
Oh, it was appalling. If they'd signed, we'd have done better.
There were a few, I think, perhaps 1 or 2. Yes, it was basic, but we were children, so it was basic. The education was poor, but if we had signing, we would have achieved more highly, especially with English literacy.
How would you compare differences between things from then with now?
So, for instance, attitudes to deaf people. Have they really changed nowadays?
Yes, nowadays there's CSWs and the young people's finger spellings is just so poor. I remember when we were young, finger spelling was not an issue. At school, Tessa was always top. How did you feel about that?
I remember you getting the elephant for Best Pupil of the Year. Every year she used to get it. I was jealous. I should have got it.
Why were you jealous?
Because I was always good at writing stories and the news, etc. I was always the best, but then she arrived and I was just jealous.
Maybe because she could write long sentences. It was based on the English.
Yes, possibly because of the English.
You were good at stories in BSL, but she was good at English. How did you get so good at English?
Well, my mother and father taught me. They told me the rules and I just picked it up.
Ah, she always got the big elephant and I was left with the baby elephant for second best.
It should have been the other way around. Your stories were brilliant, but it was my mother and father who taught me the rules of English. At school, we didn't learn anything like that.
Nope.
Nothing.
Ah, it's still there.
Still the same.
Yeah, it's still there.
There it is, the school.
Yeah.
Yep.
They look like flats.
Yeah, there are blinds, so it could be.
They could be flats now, yes.
It's a shame we can't get inside to see, but it's lovely. Thanks for sharing your stories, you two. It's good to remember life's journey.
You're welcome.
See you
Lovely to
again
see you.
soon. Thank you. See you soon. Take care. You as well.
Same to you.
Thank you. So that's Ackmore Road School. Next, I'm going to Maryhare Grammar School. I stayed there till I was 18. That's where I'm going now. It's a long time since I was here, so I'm feeling... Well, I have some happy memories, but I do remember some challenging times during my 7 years here. Whenever I signed, I was punished time and time again, and I'd have points deducted from me all the time I was here. Really, I don't know. All this old-fashioned, beautiful wood and the staircase. I noticed the piano's gone. I remember every year at Christmas it was beautiful. This place would be full. We'd all be lined up the staircase and they couldn't see us signing, so it was lovely. We could chat. When I was at school, I'd no brothers or sisters, so when I came here, in the classroom with my year group, during sports at break times in the evening, it was lovely to socialise and chat with everyone. I made friends for life, young and old. So when I went out into the deaf world, I'd still see them, we'd still be friends. I've got some really good friends, and I'll be seeing one of them later. So when I left Maryhare, I went to work in a bank, then in Marks & Spencer's laboratory. I got married, started teaching sign language, and life went on. There were problems along the way, and that's when I really appreciated having my deaf friends for support. It was one awful time I became pregnant with twins, but when I was 4 months, they were born, but they died. I was devastated. I tried to be brave and hold it in, but back then, there was no counselling or professional support. Luckily, I had deaf friends I could turn to for support, and they helped me through. I'm going to meet one of them now, Mara Goldberg. Lovely to see you.
You too.
Will we go and get a cup of tea? During my first marriage, I got pregnant with Nicholas. But before Nicholas, remember I lost the twins?
Yeah, it was an awful time.
I remember you really supported me through that, big time. Thank you.
Yes, because at the time there were no interpreters, there was no access. It was awful. Now we have deaf counsellors, interpreters, access is better. But at that time, how did I know what you were going through? I can't remember if you phoned or sent a letter or used the minicom or what.
Minicom, letters, and you came over to see me.
It was awful.
My parents didn't know what to say. It was hard for them to support me. So having friends to support me was great. I think things have improved now.
It was a sad time.
Then I moved to Newcastle.
I was gutted.
I know.
I was always asking, when are you coming back? When are you coming back?
You still do.
How many years is it now?
26 years.
Wow.
So I moved, and then I had Iona, your goddaughter.
Ah, lovely girl, lovely girl.
So life went on in Newcastle.
You were happy there?
Yes, I studied at Durham University, then another university.
Doing your MA?
Yes.
Well done.
Get away.
It was in business.
I enjoyed it, yes, management and human resources. So I just went on, took any opportunities that came along, just carried on really. Same as you with computers. You left school and you've kept on doing more training.
Yeah, but at that time there were no interpreters for access to university, so it was tough.
Yes.
Now it's much better.
Oh, much better. It was lovely to see Myra and catch up. It's the same when I meet other friends. We spend ages just chatting and catching up. In Newcastle, I do miss them. So I talked about losing the twins, and that was really sad. But moving on, I did fall pregnant again, and I had Nicholas. He's 30 now. My first marriage didn't work out. But then I met Bob. I got work at Tyne's TV, so was commuting up there, and then as things progressed, I moved up there, and I've been in Newcastle ever since. So that's home now, and that's where I'm heading back, to catch up with my family. So here I am, back in Newcastle. With Rachel Bastica and Bob, we finally set up a new service, Signpost. It was Tyne's Television at that time, then it became ITV Signpost. I worked there and was the first deaf person to present a report for Channel 4 News, which was broadcast all over the UK.
Oh, hiya. You ready?
Yeah.
The car's just over here. It's all new, eh?
It's nice. Very bright.
That's right, because in the old building there were no windows.
It's really modern. Monitors with the schedule. That's easier.
Let's have a look at the studio. All new technology.
That's right. It's all computerised. Remember before, when I applied for sign-on? Do you remember the audition? All the equipment was massive.
Yeah, the old cameras were massive. You really had to manoeuvre them around. Modern ones are smaller and easier.
Then after sign-on, you, me and Rachel had the idea of setting up Signpost. Was that because of the law?
That's right. The 1995 Disability Act said you must provide access in BSL. It was mandatory. So had to make changes to comply with that, but it was a massive opportunity.
So that's how it started. And then we recruited deaf and hearing staff, do you remember? And developed them.
So things grew, we trained new people, it was brilliant.
Remember, while we were at Signpost, we got married. But working together, we felt we had to have different names. So at work you were Bob, but at home you were Robert. It was easier to maintain the boundaries.
Yeah, you have to keep your work and your personal life separate. It's professional.
So I'm with Robert, my husband, and my daughter Iona. My son Nicholas couldn't be here, unfortunately.
Good day?
Yeah, but it's nice to be home, though. Interesting. Just thinking about Nicholas. He can't be here, but we're both deaf, and the two of you are hearing. So that brings different dynamics and issues.
Well, you grew up in a deaf family, but ours is mixed, so that makes it different.
Like my mother, when we knew Nicholas was deaf, we knew there'd be problems with school and education, so when Iona was born, it was a relief she was hearing, because we knew, not being negative about deaf people, education's so much harder. When we got together, my mother was very unsure because you were hearing. Then my mother and father ended up loving you. You had a great relationship. They loved telling you their stories. You were always so patient listening to them.
Well, I learned a lot, and I'm sure you've learned a lot from us that's benefited your work. Presenting, interpreting, and translation. You've won a lot of awards, and I'm sure your family experience has helped a lot with that.
Everybody has different skills, works in their different ways.
I've had a lot of personal growth with you going away, doing a lot of voluntary work with languages and linguistics. I've learnt a lot from that.
So, what's next for you?
Good question.
Where are you heading to?
I'm waiting to see what people ask, but sometimes the timings don't work out. If I'm invited and the time's right, I'm happy to go along. I need a bit of a break for the moment to wind down first. Then who knows? Wait and see.
Well, they all want your expertise.
Ah, thank you. Thank you for being such a great family. I love you all. Well, that's my life story. I visited different places, met family and friends, flew over to Ireland where my family originated from. Meeting them all and sharing memories with them has been really emotional. It's made me realise that with all the support from family and friends, how much they've influenced my journey in life and made me who I am today. So to all of you who've come along on that journey with me, thank you and bye-bye.